I did do a lot.
Bruh.
And it was very beautiful. It was very, very toxic.
For some people, they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know the difference between, you know, right and wrong. I will always continue like this.
Closing arguments, the Depp lawyers called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
What?
He had scissors for fingers. I'm the performer.
It was a movie. It's not like this in real life, but how would you know?
You know, I'm a terrible actress.
Worst actors of all time.
So I'm a bit confused how I could be both. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. You cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
There's no polite way to say it. The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
How could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees. And towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say. Free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
I want to thank every one of you who wakes up and looks for the flame and the sound of chanting.
Who talks like that? Anyone outside of a movie? Anyone?
Yes. Fuck yes. Enough is enough. Time's up. Me too. Our lives matter. It is worth fighting for a world where things are better, where things are more fair for domestic violence.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
Seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as the person who sat there.
You were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. I don't hesitate, I don't wait. I just, in my head, instantly think of Kate Moss and the stairs, and I swung at him.
Oops. You're testifying and you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
That when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for.
I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
get
what
me.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
But when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources, the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white.
Keep yourself fake. Suck my You're a joke.
There's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence.
Tell the world, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim of domestic violence, and
Yes.
I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
These audio tapes, they were first leaked online after being edited.
Okay.
Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He says he never hit you.
He can't.
Never. Is that a lie?
Yes, it is.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
It had a lot to do with accountability, that Johnny owned his issues. It was a sharp contrast to Ms. Heard. She didn't take accountability for anything.
The day of the verdict, were you feeling confident?
That's a great question. I wish I could say yes to that.
I have never in my life committed sexual battery, physical abuse, all these outlandish, outrageous stories.
He says he's never struck any woman. His lawyers argued at trial. None of his other prior relationships, not one woman has come forward and said he physically hit them. You were the only one.
Look what happened to me when I came forward. Would you?
Really, bitch? Really?
First day of the trial, you issued a statement, and part of the statement said, I still have love for Johnny.
Yes.
Is that still true?
Yes.
After everything?
Absolutely.
That sounds like a you problem.
So a juror spoke anonymously to Good Morning America, and he said he and the other jurors were, quote unquote, uncomfortable with how Amber stared at them throughout the entire trial.
Ms. Heard, there is no question pending, and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't be making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I thought you had asked me about it.
No, I didn't ask you about anything.
And they struggled to believe her when she went from crying to being ice cold. He also said the crying, the facial expressions that she had, some of us used the expression crocodile tears.
You had promised to donate the $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity. It was revealed at trial that you haven't done so yet. However, they played a tape where you stayed on the air that you have donated it.
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
So today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
Do you think that raised questions as to your credibility with the jury?
Made a pledge.
Use pledge and donation synonymous.
When you say I donated, you know that everybody thinks that you've donated it, not that you've pledged it. So for the jurors sitting there, that was you getting caught in a lie.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
I feel like so much casts aspersions on who I am as a human, my credibility, to call me a liar in every way you can. And
that was the trial. It was a credibility contest.
I'm not a good victim, I get it. I'm not a likable victim. I'm not a perfect victim.
To be seen, excuse me, as a noble victim of domestic violence.
I have never wanted to be seen as a victim. Nor have I ever called myself one.
You know, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
Quack.